Greetings, Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about, I think, a relevant, interesting, and important topic, enhancing qualitative social science research with GIS, or Geographic Information Systems, how and why to do it. Happy to be with you today. To begin with, I'd like to invite you to scan this QR code and indicate what's your favorite place in San Diego, California, for example. Sketch a polygon on the survey with the QR code and see the results in the map at the left. You will see that as you participate in this survey by drawing around SeaWorld, Coronado Beach, any other place in the San Diego vicinity, you will see your results on the map. And I will talk about how I used that result to generate this map. It's a social science application. You're indicating your favorite place. It's subjective. More about that in a bit. That's using Survey123 and ArcGIS Online, and some analytical tools inside ArcGIS Online as well. Now, I serve on the ESRI education team supporting schools, libraries, museums, higher education, including tribal colleges, community colleges, technical colleges, universities. Happy to be with you today to talk about this topic. Now, why provide this workshop? Why provide this video? Well, to thread geographic information science and critical geographical and social theory together. Also to expand ideas about what constitutes geospatial data, including qualitative data, and to promote the inclusive, critical, and open nature of research and applications with GIS, or Geographic Information Science, enhancing the engagement of social geographers, sociologists, economists, and others with GIS. So here's an example of what I'm indicating here. It's a Nature article about the powers of qualitative research. I invite you to take a look at this. This emphasizes, and I could cite others, why this actually matters. Now, for years, geospatial technology, remote sensing, GIS, was criticized as being too positivistic, too quantitative in its worldview, and I think rightly so. Those criticisms were justified. GIS is a relatively new phenomenon still. It's been around for 60 years, but in the lifespan of the planet, that's not very long. So in the beginning decades of GIS, it was really about soil moisture, population change, land cover, and those are still key elements in GIS. But increasingly, people want to map behaviors, map attitudes, map other kinds of qualitative or social science research, and map that and understand patterns, relationships, and trends, which is what GIS has always been about. The thesis for this video, this workshop, is that modern GIS has much to offer to social sciences and social scientists, including geographers and economists, historians, and others who seek to use qualitative and mixed method perspectives in their instruction and in their research. What I will cover is innovative practices in teaching and instruction, survey design, data capture, visualization, analysis, collaboration, and dissemination. That's a tall order, and I hope to touch on every one of those. I plan to touch on every one of those. And what I will demonstrate is approaches for working with diverse data types such as perceptions, concepts, behaviors, and values to investigate complex social and environmental issues. Now, this is an ESRI Social Science Collaborative thesis. The Social Science Collaborative at ESRI was started by our chief scientist, Dr. Dawn Wright, and it includes about 15 of us at ESRI talking about these issues and how we can push the tools forward to incorporate many of the things we're hearing from you all in terms of qualitative social science methods, techniques, tools that you need. Enhancing social science with GIS strengthens how qualitative and quantitative data and methods work together. It supports this interplay by providing an organizing context that makes the information more accessible, more usable. Insights for hard problems like racial equity, climate-driven migration, and other impacts, social and global health challenges, and more. Now, let's take a step at a high angle here, or a high view, or a small scale, looking at a large area, looking at types of data. There's spatial data, shape, size, location, information of features. Features could be points, lines, polygons, raster values in a pixel, etc. Invasive species, neighborhood planning units, etc. Methods for collection and analysis, location tracking sensors, hotspot analysis, cluster analysis, binning, choropleth maps, heat maps, etc. Quantitative data, statistically structured data, discrete or continuous, counts, distributions, weights, etc. Soil moisture, temperature, numbers of housing units, etc. Methods for collection and analysis, surveys, log data, and other automated and human-influenced measures and tools. Qualitative data tends to be non-numerical and descriptive in nature. Unstructured could be semi-structured. This is a broad view, lots of exceptions for sure. Concepts, descriptions, meanings, language, media, perceptions, sentiments. Methods for collection and analysis, interviews, focus groups, observation, ethnography, case studies, phenomenology, surveys, grounded theory. So that's just a context for different kinds of data that we could pick apart here in our workshop. Spatial data is all about location, location, location. Geospatial data refers to the shape, size, and locations of features. Invasive species, zebra mussels, pine beetles, etc. Neighborhood planning units, census tracts, biomes, ecoregions. Methods and approaches, location tracking sensors, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is more detail. And as I talked about earlier, quantitative data is really getting at the how much or how many. Discrete data could be continuous, like elevation. Discrete could be the boundaries of political units or census tracts, statistical units, etc. Methods and approaches, correlational, experimental, causal, comparative, survey research. But qualitative data, sometimes it could be structured, it could be semi-structured, could be unstructured, but mostly unstructured or semi-structured. Categorized thematically or based on properties, attributes, labels, or other identifiers. Asks the question, why? Open-ended and non-numerical data, concepts, descriptions, meanings, as I mentioned a moment ago, and these methods that I already mentioned as well. So qualitative data. There's a relationship between these methodologies, and qualitative data you can see in this, what I attempt here to look at where the GIS is integrated into these qualitative approaches. How do we do that? That's what we're going to pick apart and pull apart in this particular workshop. Thanks for being with me. Now, the research cycle, which is the geographic inquiry process that many of us in GI science have used for years, it's also the geographic approach. It's also tied to the scientific approach, where you're asking meaningful questions, you're determining what methods you're going to use, you acquire data, you figure out what tools you're going to need, statistical packages, GIS, field methods, etc., other resources. You're exploring the data, you're examining it, you're analyzing it, you're communicating, then you're coming up with some conclusions, some results. You're communicating those results with story maps, dashboards, infographics, videos, audio, scientific reports, articles, chapters, books. Then you're acting on the knowledge. I'm really keen on the action part. I don't want people using GIS just to get more head knowledge. I want action to be taken, or encouraging others to take action about the urban greenway, or about the community gardens, or about the invasive species, or about climate, or about water, or land cover change, or urban sprawl, or anything else. Action is a key part. That's why GIS was invented, to solve problems and to take action, to make a better, more sustainable, more resilient, more equitable world. And that leads to additional questions. So the research cycle continues.